Hello everyone, happy Saturday. Welcome back to Clues by Sam. We have a hard one today finally. I had a rough night. I barely slept because I was called into work. So I was a zombie the whole day. Let's see how this affects my gameplay today. But I hope you guys are having a great day. And I just know this game is bugged. I know we're gonna find a bug today. Very interesting because I've always trusted Clues by Sam to not be bugged and be very truthful. If you're new here, it is a daily puzzle that grows in difficulty along the week, and in it there are 20 people, and each of them has to either be a criminal or an innocent, and we gotta find that out using clues. So not even the criminals lie. There is no guessing involved. It's pure logic, and I'm gonna explain my logic as I solve so you can follow along. The link is in the description. So let's start. We have Helen today telling us that exactly 2 instances below her are neighboring Zola. Okay, so there's 2 people neighboring Zola below Helen, Saleo and Wanda. Both of them have to be innocent. Ooh, Saleo doesn't want us pick today. Wanda says that both innocents in row 5 are connected, so Wanda is in row 5 and she is one of the innocents, which means that one of the people connected to her, Zola or Vera, have to be the second innocent. And in this case, it's not a person necessarily connected to her. We have a goose. Very cute. But that means also that Uma is definitely not an innocent because there's only 2 innocents in row 5. Now, because we have tagged Vera and Zola, we clicked Wanda's clue to dismiss it, and Uma says that Gabe is one of Frank's 4 innocent neighbors. So Gabe is an innocent, and Frank has 5 neighbors total, 4 of which are innocents. Now Gabe says that Wanda has exactly 3 criminal neighbors. Wanda is gonna have 1 criminal neighbor here in row 5, and she needs 2 more to make 3, but she only has 2 more people neighboring her, Pep and Tom. So both of those have to be criminals, so we can total 3. Now Tom says that only one of the 5 criminals neighboring Saleo is Gabe's neighbor. So Saleo and Gabe share Coomer and Logan as neighbors, and only one of them is gonna be a criminal, so they are opposites. But that clue also tells us that Saleo has 5 criminal neighbors, 3 of which are shared with Wanda, 1 of which is shared with Gabe, so that makes 4. Now we need 1 more, and Max is the only person left, so Max has to be a criminal. Double checking that we're talking about criminals here. And we don't need Tom's clue anymore because we have tagged Coomer and Logan. Max says that Noah is one of Coomer's 6 innocent neighbors, so Noah is an innocent, and Coomer, that has 8 neighbors, has to have 6, so 6 innocents, so 2 criminals neighboring them. Pip is one of those criminals, but Logan could be the second one, so we don't know about any more people who are criminals here. Do we get a new clue? We know that Frank has 4 innocent neighbors. So what does that mean for Julie and Coomer? Because let's say that Logan is a criminal, right? Logan being a criminal forces Coomer to be an innocent. And now Coomer still needs a second criminal neighbor who has to either be Frank or Julie. Oh, Coomer has a first criminal neighbor who's Pip. Right? So both Julie and Frank could be innocents, which is okay for Frank. If Coomer is a criminal, though, that would force Frank to be a criminal, because that's the only criminal neighbor that Frank has. It would be Coomer. Frank has only 1 criminal neighbor. Now, could Julie ever be a criminal? Because if Julie is a criminal, that forces Coomer to be an innocent, which forces Logan to be a criminal, and now Coomer has too many criminal neighbors. So no, Julie couldn't be a criminal. Julie says now that only one of the two criminals neighboring Gabe is Betty's neighbor. So Gabe and Betty share 4 people as neighbors, and only one of those 4 people is a criminal. So let's say, for example, that that criminal is Anna. We get a lot of info here because Gabe and Betty will have to share one criminal, first of all. Second of all, Gabe already has a second criminal neighbor here in row 3 who's either Kuma or Logan. So the 2 criminal neighbors are already accounted for, which makes Betty an innocent, right? So that's the first thing. Second thing, Frank still needs one criminal neighbor, who now can either be Anna or Kumar. Could Claire ever be a criminal? She could if Kumar is a criminal. Because of Frank. And she could be an innocent if Kumar is an innocent as well. So that Anna is a criminal. Which means that Frank is also an innocent. Because if Frank is ever a criminal, now Gabe couldn't have any more criminal neighbors. Like, for example, first of all, Frank could be a criminal if Kumar is a criminal, is it? So maybe I'm wrong. Does this work for everybody? Gabe has 2 criminals. Kumar has 2 criminals. And Frank has only 1. So it does work for everybody. Huh? Huh? What am I not seeing then? Gabe is one of Frank's 4 innocent neighbors. Anna and Kumar are definitely opposites. But Frank could be a criminal. Could Logan ever be a criminal? Because if I make Logan a criminal now, then Anna would be forced to be a criminal. So that Frank can have 1. Which would make both Frank and Claire innocent. Is Claire ever a criminal? Because this is the first scenario I tested, right? That Claire couldn't ever be a criminal. Claire's a criminal. Both Anna and Frank are innocent, which makes Kumar criminal for Frank. So it does work. Huh? What am I not seeing? It's always when there's too many scenarios happening at the same time. So I'm gonna use Pea Shooter's strategy here of the double tagging, comparing thing. And in this scenario, Kumar doesn't have 6 innocent neighbors, so I'm not gonna need the double tagging. Because if I look back at the clues that I have open, I need to fit Max's clue, and Max mentions Kumar having 6 innocent neighbors. Now Kumar has 7. If Claire is a criminal, so Claire has to be an innocent. Okay, good. Which makes Frank and Logan opposites. Claire says there are 9 innocents on the edges. Okay. So far we have Claire and Betty, that's 2, Julie and Noah 4, and Wanda 5. We're gonna have a 6th one with either Vera or Zola, so that's 6. Which means we need 3 more. 3 more means that either Donald or Ike have to be a criminal, because can we have both Anna and Frank be criminals? No, we can't. That makes... Does that count? Is it correct? The sum? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need 9, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we need both Donald and Ike to be innocents, actually. Because if one of them is a criminal, then we need everybody here to be an innocent. We need 3 more. Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 3 more with both Anna and Frank being innocents makes it so that Gabe doesn't have enough criminals. Gabe needs 2 criminals. So we know that one of these guys here, we can tag them. Haven't tagged them, but we can tag them. And both Donald and Ike are innocents. Ike says there's an equal number of criminals in columns A and D. We know how many... That's a good thing that I tagged Anna and Frank, because we know that there's gonna be a total of 2 criminals in column A now because of that tagging. Which, if I had overlooked, I could not be aware of the 2. It wouldn't be as clear without the tag. Like, for example, let's say that I did tag Frank and Logan, for example, and then Coomer and Anna. That would be a mess of a tagging system, and we wouldn't have the clear picture of Anna and Frank being opposites. So it's very nice that I did this. And there's an equal number of criminals in columns A and D, which is 2. So we already have 2 criminals in column D, which makes Ola an innocent and Vera a criminal, because they were opposites, tags with the same color. I was thinking if I could dismiss Max at school, I'm gonna leave that there. Zola says that exactly 4 innocents on the edges have an innocent directly to the right of them. Ooh, there comes room for error here. So 4 innocents on the edges. Remembering we have 9 people on the edges, and we're talking about people to the right of them. So 3 of the innocents on the edges are in column D, and those people don't have anybody to their right. So that leaves us 6 people on the edges who could have innocents to their right. One of those people is Wanda, who has an innocent to her right. One of those people is Noah, so the second person who has an innocent to her right, their right. Both Betty and Claire have innocents to their right, so that makes 4. And we know it's 4 innocents on the edges who have innocents to their right. So, oh, Noah doesn't have an innocent to his right. Noah has a criminal to his right. Why didn't you tell me that I did it wrong? You were gonna let me get it wrong. Can't believe that. Now, going back, we have 3 people who have innocents to their right. So Betty and Claire and Wanda, who are also on the edge and are innocents. We're gonna have a 4th one here, who's either Anna or Frank, because one of them is gonna have to be an innocent, and both of them have innocents to their right. So it is inevitable. That makes it so that Julie can't have an innocent to her right. So Coomer couldn't be an innocent. That makes Logan an innocent. Now, Coomer was opposites with Anna, and Frank was opposites with Logan. So now we are done. This was a very good one. Very short. Not as hard. Can't believe. Sometimes it's weird. It's weird when things are... Because, like I said, I didn't have that great of a night, so I shouldn't have such a easy time doing this, but it was very good. I really liked the mechanics. There was a little bug there, so but it was very fun. I hope you guys understood everything. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment. You can tell me how it was for you. and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.